So the fourth episode in the series of WOIO's newscasts transformed into Rock on Cleveland in the week preceding the ribbon cutting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the huge concert at Municipal Stadium featuring everybody in rock and roll. My seats as a charter member to the Rock Hall, bought way in advance of the show, at a higher cost to everybody that was in front of me. In true Ken Dixon form, we're in front of one of those pillars in Municipal Stadium that held the roof up. I left to go home. I rode the Rapid home to go watch Bob Dylan on HBO because I couldn't see anything beyond a massive pillar in the stadium. Best part about this episode of Rock on Cleveland is one of the pride of Cleveland's, you know, the ones that get out of here, do something. NINA BLACKWOOD, one of the original MTV VJs, longtime Sirius DJ, and love you for being an animal rights and saving animals kind of person, Nina. So thank you very much. Cleveland loves you.
The following is a special presentation from 19 WOIO. Coming to you live from the North Coast Harbor, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is Rock on Cleveland.
And we're just hours away from the big event that Clevelanders and rock and rollers everywhere have been anticipating for years. A very good evening. I'm Emmett Miller, welcoming you to this edition of Rock on Cleveland, live from the deck of the steamship William G. Mather.
And I'm Denise DeFalla. We're all gearing up for the big day. Tomorrow afternoon, rock stars, music industry executives, and local dignitaries are all going to be on hand for the grand opening, the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum here in Cleveland. And believe me, the whole world is watching.
What a day that's going to be. But before we press on any farther, I'd like to welcome our special guest host tonight. She's Nina Blackwood. Recognize that name? The original VJ on MTV and a Cleveland native.
Native Clevelander, and this is great. This is beautiful, and I can't even believe what that museum looks like. I'm so excited.
It's like you knew your city was great, but now you've watched it come to fruition.
Definitely, definitely. And with rock and roll, I couldn't ask for anything else.
Well, this is wonderful. It's going to be good to have your depth of knowledge and your
yes, my depth.
Exactly.
That's right.
With MTV, how could we have anything other than that? Back to you, Denise.
Thanks, guys. Well, as you can tell, the energy level down here is really starting to pick up at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A whole lot of activity going on again today, and hundreds more press people arriving here in our fine city. Governor George Voinovich spoke to reporters today. As Cleveland's former mayor, you know, he led the campaign to bring the museum to Cleveland, so it's fitting that he was surprised later this afternoon when a brand new park on the pier north of the Rock Hall was dedicated and named for him. I understand he even got a little teary-eyed. It's home to an outdoor amphitheater right on the lake, and on the freeways heading into town, check it out, new road signs springing up pointing travelers looking for the Rock Hall in the right direction. And as for the news media, 1,500 journalists have now been credentialed to cover the grand opening ceremony, the ribbon cutting, tomorrow afternoon at the Rock Hall. Mike O'Mara has been checking in on our fine friends coming in from out of town. Mike, it's beginning to look like a satellite city down there as far as you can see.
Yeah, they're pouring in. Right now there's 500 on the ground. They're calling this ground zero, by the way, the Rock Hall. And apparently about 1,000 more before Saturday are going to converge in here. And the amazing thing is the reaction to not only just the hall, but the town, because even the hardcore, the jaded types, they all admit that they love it.
I would pay twice the admission to come in this place. I really would. I would drive a day to get here.
The eyes of the world are looking through viewfinders over at the Rock Hall. Everywhere you look, there's a camera crew taking in the show. Every angle, every highlight is getting worldwide exposure.
It's a bright building. It's very light. It's full of sun. That's wonderful.
We also ran around through the entire Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and tried to find a German aspect.
It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. you can't, it would take more than a day, I think, to go through it all if you just want to see everything.
HBO brought in comedian Jon Stewart to help show off the hall to the world. Even a tough guy from New York admits that he was impressed.
I'll be hosting the pre-show for HBO, which will be 15 minutes of just power-packed entertainment.
I'm mentioning Cleveland a lot.
I always mention Cleveland a lot. You know what? This city, man, you guys are doing all right for yourselves. I wish New York was getting some of that baseball fever and some of that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame fever.
Yeah, you had it.
Right.
We've got it now.
Exactly. 1986, I guess that was our time.
Yes, John, this is our year. And Denise, I heard someone say something clever today, that Cleveland was known for being on the rock, so now with all of this, it is definitely on the roll, and I thought that was kind of appropriate, especially for now. And think about the message that's going out, because we've got all these people from all over the world, and they're sending back a message that Cleveland is where it's happening.
That's right, and they're bringing it back on television, which reaches so many people.
Right.
So it's a good thing, great thing for our city. Now let's go back to the Mather and Emmett and Nina.
All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Hey, you know, members of the press got a lot of new details about the concert today.
And there are only a few hundred tickets remaining for the Saturday night show, which is expected to last 4 to 6 hours.
Now, the artists who are going to be performing, each of them were able to choose who they want to play with. That's kind of lucky, huh?
I think that's pretty cool. Exactly. I don't know who I'd pick.
Well, boy.
Hard decision, huh?
Allman Brothers. Definitely Allman Brothers. They got to choose who they wanted to play with, and each of the songs they'll be performing are going to be tributes to the Rock Hall's 122 inductees.
And we got a chance to talk to one of the artists who will be taking the stage on Saturday night, and as you'll see, he's already pretty excited.
I'm looking forward to it because I'll get a chance to actually watch like Springsteen and Jerry Lee Lewis and those guys, but kind of threw me for a loop in the concert century. Well, I would want to be there. It's going to be great just to see everybody and jam with everybody. That's going to be fun for me.
That's right, it's going to be absolutely great. Only fitting that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is opening its doors tomorrow to Clevelanders who helped to make the careers of so many artists.
That's right, David Bowie, John Mellencamp, on and on. And these two guys, we have a very special story about this particular performance when we come back.
But first, here's a familiar voice and his favorite song.
Here's Alanis Morissette and
Bruce Springsteen wasn't very well known, believe it or not, outside of his hometown in Asbury Park in New Jersey. That was until he won over a legion of fans right here in Cleveland in 1974 and 1975. Now, after that, and Born to Run, he, of course, became a superstar. And tonight, reporter Mike Olszewski has a special story that he's going to share with us about the boss. Mike?
Absolutely, Denise. I'm very lucky right now because I have a breeze, and our audience is lucky because they're going to see history in the making. If there's been one artist that Cleveland has embraced over the years, it's been the boss, Bruce Springsteen. Now, in this story, we have another first for you. We've uncovered lost footage of a very special performance by Bruce Springsteen and another son of the Jersey Shore. I'm talking about Southside Johnny Lion and the Asbury Jukes. Now, the two played a surprise encore at a legendary Cleveland club 17 years ago.
Turn on the TV, but I can't keep my mind on a shoe.
The date, August 30th, 1978. Bruce Springsteen, a major force in music, came to town to play a sold-out show at the Coliseum. But earlier in 1978, the boss played 2 free shows at the Agora. So he decided to go back there the night of August 30th, after his Coliseum concert. Southside Johnny was booked at the Agora, and he had joined Bruce on stage in Richfield earlier that evening. When Bruce came to return the favor, no one realized history would be made on East 24th Street.
I got the feel for the girl, got the feel.
When it's a special circumstance like that, we're both in the same town outside of New Jersey at the same time, especially Cleveland. You know, might as well have some fun. And he's one of those guys who he can never play enough.
Went nuts. Went nuts. We knew he was coming, but the audience, when Springsteen stepped on stage, they went nuts. When Clarence Clemens walked on, I think they knew Springsteen was right behind him.
This videotape has never been seen before. You're watching footage which has been locked away in a vault for more than 17 years. It's the first time it's ever been seen by the public, and probably the last. But it's a crowning moment in Cleveland rock and roll history. Made at the Agora.
You were my moon at night. I think about you, baby.
Incredible. You know, the Agora Ballroom will soon be 30 years old. It's hosted so many significant shows, but this show in particular was very important because it paired up two stars who got their start at the Cleveland Agora and who came back many times to express their thanks. Let's go back to you, Emmett.
Hey, Mike, only if the walls could talk. Huh?
And how?
Boy, I bet it's etched in there. The feeling, the spirit, it's all there. And listen, when you get a chance to visit the Rock Hall, you're going to find 55 different exhibitions. They're scattered all over 7 different floors.
But before they cut the ribbon, they're going to be dancing in the streets, as they say.
Absolutely. And we're going to give a preview of that part of the party when we come back. And welcome back live to the William G. Mather. It'll be a rousing kickoff to a very historic day. Tomorrow morning, more than 1,000 Clevelanders, East Siders, West Siders, all of them, young and old, will be rocking in the streets.
And the procession down 9th Street is the product of Art Acts. And they are the local group which puts on parade the Circle every year. And for this event, our designers got help from all around the world.
The performers in it.
And everything is very movable and mobile. Very few things are actually motorized, so we have a lot of ease of movement and a lot of sort of dance elements to it as it goes down the street.
When I first heard about the project, I was really excited about it. I'm actually taking a leave of absence from my regular job, which is at the Science Museum in Buffalo, to do this. So I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
These guys are part of a pinball machine. So they'll have costumes and there'll be bumpers and slippers, and the ball is played by a bunch of rollerbladers. So the rollerbladers will be going in and out of the stilt dancers.
We're doing the section for the Grateful Dead, and we're tie-dyeing some cloth. Oh, it's great. It's such good fun, and it's like there seems to be quite a lot of freedom for every artist to put in their own designs. And Robin sort of said, "Well, this is the kind of look," and so within that, I was able to design it myself. That's really great. And then I mean, the humour in some of the stuff that I'm seeing around is fantastic.
We've been anticipating this for a long time. So I think once we get out on the road, the whole thing will be wonderful.
Boy, I'll tell you, Rio de Janeiro, eat your heart out. This is going to be fantastic. It's a live, like a big, huge Elvis. I mean, live. The person inside is live. But
so you've seen an Elvis sighting?
We have seen Elvis here.
Even in Cleveland. He's got to be here.
He is here. And there's a lot of talented people that are preparing this whole thing, as a matter of fact. Let's go back to Denise.
That's right, you guys. And as you can imagine, there are a number of activities going on, other events this weekend planned around rock and roll. Some of them going on at the Nautica Complex. And that's where we're going to check in with our own Dave Barker. Dave, what's going on over there?
Well, Denise, I'll tell you, you may not know this. I'm at the second coolest place in Cleveland this weekend, of course, next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here, as you say, at the Nautica Complex. We're actually in the Powerhouse right now. All the floors of the Powerhouse have been turned into an art gallery. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the artwork behind me here. What you're seeing right now are hundreds and hundreds of pieces of art by rock stars themselves right here, specifically work by Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones. However, not all the artists featured here are famous. And this afternoon we found one very unique artist.
This is referred to as rock poster art, rock and roll.
It's just becoming more and more popular?
It seems to be.
Mark Arminsky has been an artist most of his 44 years, but for the past decade he's turned his paintbrush to rock and roll.
Hey, look at some of your stuff here. This is a local one. This is for the Gun Arena, Aerosmith, right?
Aerosmith, yes.
Now, do they tell you what to do, or do you come up with the idea, or how does that work?
I mean, that's why I like doing this. They give me the name of the band, backup band maybe, the date, and they let me go and totally do whatever I want to do.
Can you make any money doing it?
Not really.
Really?
Somebody is, though, but I'm not.
Like traditional forms of art, rock posters are becoming more and more valuable. So, advice for collectors?
So your advice is pull these things down as soon as you see them, huh?
Sit on them. That's what I did with my stuff in the 60s, and it's turning out to be worth a little bit of money.
And not only can you view this incredible artwork, you can also buy it. Denise, take a look at this. An original John Lennon work here.
Oh, my
Give
gosh.
Peace a chance. Only $12,500.
Oh, my gosh. $12,500.
But it's original. This is John Lennon stuff.
Dave, you buy it and give it to me. Well, we couldn't be buying a better forecast than the ones we've had the past couple of days. Julie, you're promising blue skies and sunshine for tomorrow, too, aren't you?
I'm telling you, the gods in rock and roll heaven are going to be smiling on us. They're watching out for us. Gorgeous day tomorrow, looking for 74 degrees, few clouds in the morning. But the rest of the day looks like lots of sun, and sunshine is going to carry us all the way through this rock and roll weekend.
All righty, good deal, Julie. Thank you very much. Well, Cleveland may not be the home of a lot of rock artists. However, that could be changing because of some loud new bands which are really catching on. That story when we come right back.
And we're back live at the Rock Hall. The radio ratings prove it. Alternative rock, or new rock as some people call it, is definitely making waves here in Cleveland. Not just out-of-towners, though, that are making the charts.
And tonight we take a look at the local scene and two Northeast Ohio bands which are showing the world how Cleveland really rocks, right?
Absolutely.
Basically, Ed's from Holland, but kind of lives in Canton. We're not your normal rock band.
We play loud music and fun music.
You know, we've been on 3 major tours across the U.S. I guess we've done about 100,000 units. We're released worldwide.
Oh, cool. Look at all that trash flying everywhere. Yeah. We should have a party like that.
Kind of coincided with that when things started with us, and that helped the local music scene.
It's really no different from any other generation, I don't think. You know, you're going to get funky clothes and hairstyles and, you know, anything.
It's really the mainstream right now. You go ahead and take a look at the charts anymore, and alternative music really is top 40 today.
We just like to play, you know, loud, big riffs. Pat, the drummer, and myself, we all grew up on the east side in Cleveland, and we've known each other for 15, 20 years. John, the singer, he's from Queens, New York.
You know, we have our element of whatever, modern rock or whatever, plus we're pretty much just a loud rock band.
There's a lot of cool bands coming up out of Cleveland now.
Besides, bands that come out of Cleveland, I mean, a lot of bands when they're starting out and they're coming on tour, I mean, Cleveland's always supported them in that way at the club level or even above, and they've helped to break a lot of bands nationally.
It's really interesting. Groups like Dink and the Sons of Elvis are using Northern Ohio as sort of a proving ground, something traditionally a lot of other artists like Springsteen and the Supremes have done as well. But what do the bands think? Is Cleveland really a breakout market?
Cleveland is very close to our hometown, Detroit, Michigan. And I think it's like almost the same kind of city in terms of the music, and so it was very close. So we always stop here before going to some of the other areas, and it was a good barometer in terms of how records and the groups would be received by the rest of the world, by the rest of the United States.
It's a music town. I mean, it's the beginning of rock radio. A lot of things begin here, so the Hall of Fame and all that sort of stuff. And it's not too jaded like other big cities are.
We've met a number of these people when we were interviewing them, but you know them.
Some of them, most of them, yeah. Over the years, I was seeing all these familiar faces.
And you'll see them again
cool, yeah.
when you get inside the Rock Hall.
I can't wait.
Almost time to wrap it up here from the steamship William G. Mather.
But before we do that, we need to fill you in on tomorrow's festivities, so do stay with us.
Rock On Cleveland is sponsored by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Your Ford dealers are winning Ohio over. Best Cuts, we've got your style. Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born. Galleria at Erie View, East 9th and St. Clair downtown. And Best Buy. Some places are known for great music. Best Buy is one of them.
Back live at the Rock Hall, almost time to wrap things up for today, but be with us tomorrow for festivities which kick off at 11 in the morning, Rockin' in the Streets. That's the name of the parade.
That's right, and we're going to be in the middle of it. 9 years we've waited here, right? Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun.
Denise?
Thanks, guys, and we're going to be bringing you a special live broadcast right here on Channel 19 beginning at